Okay, so let's talk about Facebook next. And Facebook may be the best known these days. Everyone's talking about Facebook because it's so well used, not only here, but around the entire world. So let's start at the beginning. Just in terms of the facilities that are available on Facebook. So you can have a profile. Profiles are for individuals. You might have a profile yourself. Profiles have friends. You can have a group. Groups are for multiple individuals with similar interests. Groups are built by profiles. So a profile builds a group. Groups have members. Okay? And thirdly, you can have a page. Pages are specifically designed for public figures and businesses. So if you have a business, I suggest you create a Facebook page for it. We'll talk about that in a second. Pages are built by profiles. A profile builds and becomes an admin of a page. Pages have fans, just to get the vernacular straight. So let's talk about some of the differences. This is where it gets more interesting. If you have a profile, and if you want to see my profile, you have to jump over 2 hurdles to see it. First, you need to have a profile yourself. You have to be logged in to Facebook, and you and I need to be friends for you to see my profile. Now, that's not always true because Facebook recently changed its privacy settings, so it's not always true. But for most people, if you want to see my profile, you have to jump over 2 hurdles. With a group, you only have to jump over 1 hurdle. Okay? You have to be logged on to Facebook. You have to be logged in. But you and I do not need to be friends for you to see my group. You can go to groups on Facebook, do a search, find my group, and check it out without being friends with me. All right? Pages. Pages, there are 0 hurdles. Okay, there's 0 hurdles. That means you don't even have to be logged in to Facebook to check out a page. What does that mean? It means there's no firewall. It means that pages are indexed by Google. That's very, very important. Like I said a moment ago, a lot of companies have Facebook pages. I recommend you do too. And some of those companies have a website as well. And when they Google their own name, the Facebook page comes up higher in the search results than their own website. Facebook ranks really high on Google. That's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you to position yourself even better in the public domain. Now, if you haven't created a Facebook page yet, there's a few things that you need to keep in mind. And one of them in particular is the title that you use for your Facebook page. You can call it whatever you like. But the thing is that once you select a title for your Facebook page, you can't change it. It's the one thing you can't change. You can change the photo, you can change the description, you can change all sorts of things, but you can't change the title. Well, it turns out that in terms of search engines, what they call search engine optimization, or SEO for short, the title is the most valuable part. So you want to make sure that you put some keywords into your title. So let's say, for example, that maybe you're a financial advisor. Let's say your name is Jane Smith. Would you call your page Jane Smith? Nobody's searching for Jane Smith. Instead, you could call it something like Jane Smith Financial Advisor, Miami, Florida, or wherever you might live. Because people are searching for a financial advisor in Miami. They're not searching for Jane Smith. So if you haven't yet created a page for yourself on Facebook, take some time to add a few keywords in there to help people find you when they're searching for whatever it is they might be looking for. Now, let's talk about the #1 opportunity on Facebook. And this is, again, there's so many brilliant things you can do on these platforms. And the #1 opportunity is tagging people in photos. And I used this once very effectively. It was really a lot of fun. I worked with a small winery, very small winery up in Napa area. Actually, it was up close to Calistoga. And we had a public wine tasting that we promoted. And by the way, we promoted it offline. So we used newspaper and radio to get people there. But it was $5. It was very inexpensive. So a ton of people came. Okay? And when they came, we had a registration table where people came in to register. And as soon as they registered, they got a glass, okay, the glass of wine, or the wine glass, and they got wine in it. They got their first pour. So now they have wine in a glass, okay. Then they came over and we had an area set up with a logo of the winery and a photographer. So let's say I'm the photographer. Thanks for coming. We're thrilled you're here. Love to take your photo. Is that okay? Okay, click. Now think about these photos. Think about these photos. We're talking about happy people, wine, yes, and the logo of the winery is right here. This is a branded photograph, isn't it? It's a branded photograph. It's an advertisement, isn't it? It's a subtle advertisement for a winery that maybe other people haven't heard of. So here's what happens. If I take a photograph of you and I upload it to my Facebook page, well, it's going to reside on my Facebook page. But if I tag you in that photo, the photo is going to end up in your profile as well as photos uploaded by others. I can put a photo into your profile. Again, let's say your name is Jane Smith. I can put a photo into your profile and the photo is going to go onto your wall as well. And it's going to say, Jane Smith was just tagged in a photograph. And there's a picture of Jane Smith with a glass of wine and the logo of this winery that her friends have never heard of until now. This campaign was wildly successful. We had 180 some photos, we had tons of people tagged, and the impact on their business was instantaneous. The foot traffic was higher the very next weekend. And there's countless applications of this. I have a friend of mine who runs these urban scavenger hunts all across the country. And what you have to go around and get clues in different restaurants. And it's kind of like the Amazing Race, except all one city in one day. And they do these events and people are having a ton of fun, and they have photographers taking photos of these contestants who have a big number across their chest. So it's obvious they're in a race of some kind. They're having a great time, and they tag these people in the photographs, and all their friends see it and say, wow, what was this? What were you doing? Oh, we had to go around and get photos. We had to get clues in different restaurants. It's their #1 marketing that they do for their business. And I use this myself. As a speaker, I've had a chance to speak in a lot of great places. Earlier this year, I had a chance to speak in India, which was an amazing opportunity for me. So I got a photograph of the Taj Mahal, which is unmistakably India. And I put a photograph of myself in the corner of that photo with details of what it was I was speaking, and I tag myself in the photo. Because people who visit your profile on Facebook are looking at your photos, whether you realize it or not. That's what people do on Facebook. They check out your photos. So people who might be on my profile and they're looking at my photos, they might see this and think, wow, I didn't know he had a chance to speak in India. I didn't know he had a chance to speak in Sweden or Finland or some of the other. I have these for every single exotic location that I've spoken in because it benefits me as a speaker. It raises my profile as a speaker. And there's an author that you may be familiar with. His name is Tim Ferriss. He wrote a very, very popular book called The 4-Hour Workweek. And he had a contest where in order to enter the contest, you had to take a picture of yourself holding his book. There's hundreds of these photographs all over Facebook. Those were the entries into his contest. What are those? They're advertisements. Those are advertisements. How can you use this? I worked with a company that does pedicures. Very small place that does pedicures in the city where I live. The pedicure store takes pictures of the women's feet. You can't even see the woman. All you see is her feet. And they paint these little flowers on the toenails. I don't know how they do it. It's so small. And they take a picture of these feet and they tag the feet in the photograph of whoever the woman is. And before they upload those photos to Facebook, they bring them into Photoshop first, and subtly in the corner, they put their logo and their phone number. And it's not going to change your business if you do this once. It will not change your business if you do it once. But if you do it 12 times, if you do it 20 times, if you do it 100 times, you accumulate these photographs in the profiles of all these people in your community. It can change your business. If you're a real estate agent and you sell a house and it says sold in front of that house, you got to take a picture of those people and tag those people in photographs and do it over and over and over again as part of your regular day. If you do that, you are going to accumulate a whole bunch of references of your business to precisely the people who you're trying to target. And who are those people really? They're the friends of your customers today. You can ask yourself, how many of your friends know what it is you do? Probably most of them. But how many of their friends know what you do? So the opportunity on Facebook is to engage your community and tag people in those photos. It's a tremendous way to subtly get the message out about what it is you do so well.